Good morning. My name is Barbara Hitt. My pronouns are she and her, and I am delighted to welcome you to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville on this first Sunday in May, 2025. Isn't it great to see the sun peeping out again? Yesterday I felt like we were approaching 40 days and 40 nights, and we might have to build a big UU ark. So, we are an open community of learning, caring, and justice-making, and we acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of Native people. Whether you have joined us online or you are here in our beautiful sanctuary, we are glad to have you with us at this time we choose to be together. Our service is live streamed, so if you're camera shy, you can hang out at the back pews. I'm honored to be the pulpit host on this first Sunday back for our minister, Rev. Jaimie Simon, after a 4-month sabbatical. She returns to us, no doubt, rested, enlightened, and married. Welcome back, Rev. Jaimie. If you are a newcomer, please sign our guest book back in the foyer, and we'll send you our weekly email newsletter. Also in the foyer, if you have a little trouble hearing, we've got some devices to assist with that. And speaking of devices, this is a good time to silence all those ones we carry around with us and can't live without. You know, your phones and whatnot. If you have a joy, a sorrow, or important milestone you would like shared during our circle of candles and included in the pastoral prayer, please write it down on one of the white cards in the pew in front of you. I'm supposed to wave a white card. They look like that. For community news, check our email newsletter. We have a website, and we have an insert in the order of service. This week we have some announcements. Today is the first Sunday of the month, and we will share the plate with the Huntsville Bail Fund. There's also an announcement about the Habitat House that we helped complete, and I understand our church got special recognition thanks to Gail Williams and Claire Tran, who were there for the ceremony. And I'd also like to invite Cam Scales up to make an announcement.
Morning. I have some exciting news. Not such exciting news as this is the first time I've made an announcement reading from my phone. My eyes aren't great. If I screw it up, I'm sorry. I have exciting news. We will be taking orders for newly designed by Diane Walls UUCH t-shirts. Yay! Beginning next week and following during the month of May. We will have both adult and children's sizes. You may order your t-shirts after church in the fellowship hall on those Sundays through May and ending on Sunday, June the 1st. You will also be able to order online in some form. So you'll just watch the newsletter for details. We are trying something new this year. May work, may not work. I think it will. This will not be a fundraiser. We will charge what we have to pay. We may round it up a few cents just to make it easier, but we will charge people what we pay. The idea is to get everybody who wants one to let them get a t-shirt. And we don't want money to get in the way. It's kind of a pay as you can. If you can pay full price, fabulous. If you can pay full price and add a few extra dollars, that's great too. If you can't pay full price right now, no problem. Just pay what you can. And nobody will know. We're trying to think of a system where it's kind of blind. So money's not the major aspect here. I have faith that it will all work out. Any extra money that we have, we will buy more T-shirts to have on hand, like if somebody loses theirs or outgrows it or whatever, they can maybe swap it out during the year. Also be available for new members throughout the year. I think that's all on that. Whew. Golly, my eyes are getting bad. Trying something new. I just talked about that. We expect the new shirts to arrive sometime around the end of June or July, sometime this summer, and once we get them in our hot little hands, we will come up with a system to get them to yours. Additionally, another new and wild and funky idea, we're going to have a T-shirt swap, a UUCH T-shirt swap. So if you've, look through your closets, if you've got extra UU T-shirts that don't fit anymore, especially children, they outgrow things so quickly. Bring those, and if you bring a T-shirt, this would be a donation. Bring it, put it on the table, and if somebody comes along and they need that T-shirt, they can take it. If they want to make a donation to the church for that, great, but they don't have to. So we'll try that and see how that works as well. If you have any questions, I'll be back in the foyer. I'll be there for about 10 minutes after the service, and then I'll be in the fellowship hall, and you can hit me up there. So look through your closets this week. Thanks. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Cam. I just want to make a comment about T-shirts. Our T-shirts have traditionally been yellow, and they will still be yellow. And anytime we go to a protest or a demonstration or a celebration downtown, we all wear our yellow T-shirts, and we are known as the yellow T-shirt people. And people will come up and say, your church is always represented, you always have somebody there. You're the yellow T-shirt people. This happened to me just a couple of weeks ago at the park. So I'm really excited we're going to have T-shirts again because we have so many new people. So thank you, Cam. All right. After the service, everyone is invited to join us in the fellowship hall where we're going to have a wonderful potluck today. If you didn't bring anything, you are welcome to attend. We always have plenty of food. And now I would like to invite Macy to ring the singing bowl to help us enter into the service more deeply. Thank you, Macy. Good job. Finally, having gathered in a shared quest for truth, meaning, and purpose, let us light our chalice with these words. We light this chalice to affirm that new light is ever waiting to break through to enlighten our ways. That new truth is ever waiting to break through to illumine our minds, and that new love is ever waiting to break through to warm our hearts. And now let us enter into this morning's service more deeply with music for centering and our thread song.
Well, good morning, friends. Good morning. Oh, can we sound like that every Sunday? That was beautiful. Welcome in. My name is Reverend Jaimie Simon. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve you as the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. Wow, it is good to be back with you. And can I just say how exciting and inspiring it is for me not to recognize like half the faces in this room right now? Good on you. What a joy it is to know that you have been taking such good care of each other and this sacred community while I've been gone. And I am so happy to be back on our shared journey together. We'll center in this morning with these words adapted from Pat Urabe-Lichty. Beloveds, here and now we gather. We bring our stories and our hopes, our commitments and our highest aspirations. We bring our sorrows, our disappointments, our failures. We gather here for healing, for laughter, and to rejoice. We gather to find new ways of loving, new ways of thinking, new ways of being. We gather. Yes, we gather, for it is in gathering that we find our hope and transform into the people the world most needs. May we find joy and connection in this time of gathering. Now, I'd invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn. It's number 1000, so that's the first song in our teal hymnal, 1000, Morning Has Come. Let's rise and sing together. Each week following our first hymn, we remain risen in body and spirit to sing our doxology and speak to one another our words of aspiration. And when we get to those words, it is our practice to turn and face each other and speak these words as words of promise in this community. Let's sing. Love be the spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. And now I'd invite our children and youth to come forward for our story for all ages. You can come up and sit with me, absolutely. Yeah. But it might be hard to see pictures, so you can come up for now, but if you end up wanting to see pictures better, you might have to pop back down. But anybody can come up and sit too. Good morning. It's really good to see you. I haven't seen any of your faces in 4 months. Does that feel like a long time? Yeah, it felt like a long time to me too. I missed you. I have a story to share that's gonna explain a little bit about why I've been gone. But before I do, I just wanted to know how you are, how you've been doing these past 4 months. Anything big or important that's happened in your life? You wanna tell me, Alexis, what's going on? You're in 6th grade. You're in 5th grade. 5th grade, big stuff. 3 more weeks of school. Exciting. Nora, what's been up with you?
All right. So I've got Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is next week. Yep.
My mom's birthday.
And your mom's birthday. Wow, a lot of big stuff there.
And then there's also I'm going to be in 2nd grade.
You're going to be in 2nd grade next year.
I'm going to swim team.
And you're doing swim team. So exciting. Saoirse, what about you?
I do horse squad and I be a girl.
You do horse squad and you get to be a girl?
I be a girl.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
I am 6 years old now.
And you're 6 years old now. Well, we don't have time to go through every single one of you, but after this service, we're going to have a big party potluck in there. And I want to know from all of you, what's been going on in your lives? I've missed you, so come up and tell me when we're in the potluck, okay? So we'll hold you, and you'll come and find me in the potluck, and you'll tell me what's been going on. And now I'm going to read you this story about a fun little mouse who I think may have gone on a sabbatical. You tell me. Well, that's a great question. So there's a ladybug in there. Yeah, our sanctuary has ladybugs. Isn't that fun? So I was gone for 4 months on a sabbatical. And I'm going to read you this story about our friend Frederick the mouse. And then hopefully that'll explain better what a sabbatical is. So, all along the meadow where the cows grazed and the horses ran, there was an old stone wall. In that wall, not far from the barn and the granary, a chatty family of field mice had their home. But the farmers had moved away. The barn was abandoned and the granary stood empty, and since winter was not far off, the little mice began to gather corn and nuts and wheat and straw. They all worked day and night, all except Frederick. All except Frederick, exactly. Frederick, why don't you work? They asked. Well, I do work, said Frederick. I gather sun rays for the cold, dark winter days. And when they saw Frederick sitting there staring at the meadow, they said, and now, Frederick? Well, Frederick said, I gather colors. Simply, for winter is gray. And once Frederick seemed half asleep. "Are you dreaming, Frederick?" they asked reproachfully. But Frederick said, "Oh no, I am gathering words, and we'll run out of things to say, for the winter days are long and many." The winter days came, and when the first snow fell, the little field mice took to their hideout in the stone wall. In the beginning, there was lots to eat, and the mice told stories of foolish foxes and silly cats. They were a happy family. But what do you think happened next? You don't know? Well, let me tell you. Little by little, they had nibbled up most of the nuts and berries. The straw was gone, and the corn was only a memory. It was cold, and no one really felt like chatting. Then they remembered what Frederick had said about sun rays and colors and words. "What about your supplies, Frederick?" they asked. "Close your eyes," said Frederick as he climbed on a big stone. "Now I send you the rays of the sun." And as Frederick spoke of the sun, the 4 little mice began to feel warmer. Was it Frederick's voice? Was it magic? What do you think?
Magic.
You think it's magic? Maybe, yeah. "And how about the colors, Frederick?" they asked anxiously. "Close your eyes again," Frederick said. "You guys want to try this too? Close your eyes and think of the blue periwinkles and the red poppies and the yellow wheat and the green leaves and the berry bushes." They saw the colors clearly, as if they'd been painted in their minds. "And the words, Frederick?" Well, Frederick cleared his throat, waited a moment, and then, as if from the stage, he said, "Who scatters snowflakes? Who melts the ice? Who spoils the weather? Who makes it nice? Who grows the 4-leaf clovers in June? Who dims the daylight? Who lights the moon? 4 little field mice who live in the sky, 4 little mice like you and I. One is the spring mouse who turns on the showers, then comes the summer who paints in the flowers. The fall mouse is next with walnuts and wheat, and winter is last with cold little feet. Aren't we lucky the seasons are 4? Think of a year with 1 less or 1 more." When Frederick was finished, they all applauded. "Frederick," they said, "you are a poet." Frederick blushed and took a bow and shyly said, "I know it." And that's the story of Frederick the Mouse. And what I want you to take away from this story is, I was gone for 4 months, and you were here doing the work of the congregation with the grain and the corn and the wheat, and I was off gathering colors and words and stories. And hopefully, when we bring those 2 things together, we'll all be able to move forward in love and have all the things that we need. And that is our story for this morning. And now we're going to sing our younger children off to their classes, but our teens and youth, you are welcome to stay here in the service. And that's what we'll do. Let's sing our kids off. Thank you, guys.
Isn't it great to see so many kids here for RE? And we have so many little girls, and just imagine 10 years ahead when they all become teenagers. All right. Yeah. We are the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville, a proudly inclusive spiritual community. Together we build broader search for meaning, bolder form of compassion, and a braver voice for justice. If you would like to support us with a monetary contribution, we would like that. Your generosity helps us to keep on the lights and the air conditioning and today the heat, maintain our building and grounds, run our ministries, pay our staff a fair wage, and support organizations that share our values. You can donate online using the QR code in the order of service, or you can put cash or check in the offering baskets that will be passed around. And since today is the first Sunday of the month, we will share the plate with the Huntsville Bail Fund. There's a little more information about the Bail Fund in the announcement. I'm just going to read one particular sentence. They post bail for people who cannot afford it, prioritizing support for poor, Black, LGBT, disabled, and otherwise marginalized individuals targeted by the criminal legal system. Please consider giving generously to this important organization. And if you filled out a Circle of Candles form, that can also be placed in the offering basket when it comes by. You are also invited to come forward during this time and quietly drop a stone into the bowl of water here next to the ramp in honor or memory of what you hold in your heart. It is through your generosity that we serve our mission here at UUCH. With gratitude, we now receive the offering.
Friends, will you join me now for a time of meditation, reflection, and prayer? Great Spirit of love and life, be with us as we are with each other. Listen as we share together the joys and sorrows on our hearts, shared in caring community. We lift up joys from our members excited to be back together. Sherry Smith shares joy that she's happy to be back with her UUCH family and is looking for a ride in her part of town. Sherry, do you want to wave and people can come find you? Jaylee Kordowski shares in joy that they've finished their final assignment for their master's in social work. Hooray! They're graduating in May from UTK with a 4.0 and are excited to be an LGBTQ plus affirming therapist in our area. What blessed needed work. Thank you for your service, Jay. The DeLacy's share in joy that Benjamin turns 18 tomorrow. And Ben actually reached out and wanted to share that joy with the congregation as well. The DeLacy's got to see him yesterday and are just glad to see him doing so well. Happy birthday, Ben. John Jeter shares in joy that this past week his brother celebrated his 87th birthday on the 30th, and he celebrated his 85th on May 1st. Congratulations to them both, 87 and 85. What a goal to strive for, Jeter men. Got the good genes going. Deborah DeLacy shares in joy gratitude for this community for helping with financial help and in-person help to make her book fair a success. Hurrah. And Jessie Blevins shares in joy that today Jessie walked into this church and was moved to tears, not because of song or sermon, but because this is a church that they've dreamed of their entire life, a place where everyone is loved, valued, and included, no matter what, where compassion is louder than judgment. Their heart is so full, as are ours, to be this community in our town and in this place so needed. We are blessed with joys overflowing, and as we share these joys, we hold in sorrow people and places in our world that need our love and care most. We're asked to keep Janet Varner in our thoughts and prayers as she recovers from surgery and deals with ongoing health issues. And Eunice Benton, who is the former Mid-South UU District Executive and longtime friend of this congregation, shares that her husband, William Bill Benton, has passed away. Alice and Betsy are in North Carolina to attend his memorial service and are representing our congregation there. We share sorrow for your loss and gratitude for Bill's life. In joy and sorrow, in all these places of celebration and all these places of pain and concern, may kindness and connection grow. May compassion and healing begin. And may we breathe together now in silence, knowing that there are joys and sorrows held here, too tender yet to share. Spirit of life with us in this moment, thank you for the opportunity to celebrate these joys and sorrows and for the strength to continue in solidarity the loving work of this congregation. May we spread our love and our care out into this hurting and beautiful world. Blessed be and amen. And we'll sing in response hymn 1009 in that teal hymnal, Meditation on Breathing. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in Our reading this morning is Kama's Lilies by Reverend Lynn Unger. Consider the lilies of the field, the blue banks of Camas opening into acres of sky along the road. Would the longing to lie down and be washed by that beauty abate if you knew their usefulness? How the natives ground their bulbs for flour, how the settlers' hogs uprooted them, grunting in gleeful oblivion as the flowers fell. And you, what of your rushed and useful life? Imagine setting it all down. Papers, plans, appointments, everything, leaving only a note. Gone to the field to be lovely, be back when I'm through with blooming. Even now, unneeded and uneaten, the Camas lilies gaze out above the grass from their tender blue eyes. Even in sleep your life will shine, make no mistake. Of course, your work will always matter. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Our fabulous UUCH choir will now share our anthem for this morning.
Oftentimes I dream of music, of the river that freely flows, and it sings a song sweeter than honey, and one everybody knows.
I believe it keeps on traveling, but it rests on the Sabbath day, and the time when it pauses in stillness, I almost hear it pray.
Wow. Wow. Well, friends, I am so glad to be back with you. It's a joy to see your faces and start to get those updates on your lives, like I shared with our children. I know that a lot's been going on in this world. The world has gone on turning, wild and worrisome as it is. And as we return to each other and this sacred relationship of shared ministry, let's be intentional to reconnect. In the next few weeks, I encourage you to set up a meeting with me, or write me a note, or send me a strange, rambling email. Tell me how you are. I've missed you, and I want to know your life, how you're doing, and what matters most in this time. And UUCH, I want to thank you so much for taking such good care of each other and of this community while I've been away. I got to speak with Reverend Ruth this week, and the staff and leaders from our board, and wow, glowing reports all around. You did great. I told you you would, and you did great. Congratulations. You rose to the occasion and then some, trying new things, rolling with changes, navigating challenges, beautifying the spaces in our congregation, and continuing to serve our church mission proud. Thank you for this time, and thank you for trusting me to take this time away. This sabbatical has been a huge gift in my life. It's given me the chance to slow down, to celebrate milestones, to rest deeply and learn creatively, and invest in my community of relationships here in Huntsville. This time has helped me process some of the ongoing grief and fear of this political moment, so that perhaps I'll have some wisdom or sunbeams or colors or words to share. When I left in January, I didn't realize truly how much I needed this break. But I needed this break. I needed this time to recharge and recommit so I can show up fully in this shared ministry. And so I say today, and hopefully you will see in our shared ministry lives together, that I am back and committed and here with you all, and grateful to be so. Will can tell you that I came home from the office on Thursday exhausted and buzzing with energy and ready to be back in this work once again. So thank you, and let's get started. And first, because it feels possible to me that some of you are curious about what I've been up to, I wanted to share some of the big highlights from this time. So the big one, in February, we got married. Exactly. We gathered with our friends and family in Birmingham, where Will grew up, and had a beautiful ceremony and reception that has just been a highlight of our lives, and we keep reflecting on those memories. And as we move into potluck, I'm shamelessly showing wedding photos on the screen in there, so there you go. But what I wanted to share was one of the reflection points, apart from how grateful I am for a fabulous partnership and the life we're building together, was gratitude for the way that Unitarian Universalism showed up in our wedding and in that moment of celebration. Part of our ceremony that we built with the two UU ministers who married us, because, I couldn't just have one. We started our ceremony with a flower communion ritual, which we as a congregation will honor together next Sunday. This is your reminder to bring a flower from your garden or the side of the road or from Publix, wherever you like to get your flowers. But we started our wedding ceremony that way, each of our guests bringing a flower to the front to be part of a shared arrangement in our ceremony, which just felt like a special way to incorporate this tradition that's been so important and formative in my life and has started to become important and formative for Will's life. And I think that there's a through line, a thread line of what Unitarian Universalism has given me as a person, and a reconnection to that personal relationship with our faith that has been really profound and important, and I'll continue to reflect on. But that was a huge celebration, and once we got back from, turning in cake stands and cleaning up tablecloths and things like that, and a beautiful trip to Puerto Rico, I was able to dig into some of the aspects of sabbatical that I'd kind of committed to as I began this time away. In March, I got to go to California to celebrate the ordination of Reverend Rosemary Dodd. Now, Reverend Rosemary is a longtime friend of mine. We met as very precocious young Unitarian Universalists leading at General Assembly in like 2011, 2012 timeframe. So a long time now, but over the past 3 years, she's been my official mentee. And so I don't share this often, but a part of my ministry work has looked like a monthly phone call with Rosemary as she has gone through the ups and downs of the formation process of Unitarian Universalist ministry. And so she invited me to preach the sermon at her ordination, which is a pretty big honor in UU land and is the only sermon I wrote while I was on sabbatical. And going to this ordination was a particular joy in this time of sabbatical because one of the things, and I think you saw this if you were here for my ordination just a few years ago that happened right here in our sanctuary, it's a big deal. There is pomp and circumstance abounding. And it's such a big deal because it helps the congregation and the ordinand, which is the person becoming ordained, and the rest of us ministers sitting there in the audience. It helps us reconnect with just how important our faith is and important the work and the leadership of Unitarian Universalism is to be in those spaces. And so that was an important part of that celebration, reminding myself why I got into ministry and why this work is the calling of my life. And it was a particular joy to represent you good folks and the good folks that are UUs of Alabama out to the UU congregation of Petaluma, California. Petaluma, California is, I didn't know where it was until I flew there, but it is fancy Sonoma wine country. It's like Italy, but here. It's beautiful. And would you believe they were a little surprised to meet a UU from Alabama? My number one question was, but you don't look like you're from Alabama. I'll let y'all figure out what that means, because I didn't know.
That's what the conservatives call coastal elites.
I believe you there. And apart from, a lot of people being like, are you okay? And it's like, yes, we are okay. We have power in the South. We have communities that are raring to go for justice, even here, even in Alabama, and getting to share that good news and kind of offer them a perspective, right, that our faith is awesome in bougie Northern California, and our faith is awesome here. And it maybe even matters more in places where our values and the laws of our communities are further disaligned. Once I got back from California, one of my biggest goals in this time was to dig into the racial justice history of our state. It is rich and sad and ever present. So I went to the Civil Rights Museum in Birmingham, and I toured the 16th Street Baptist Church. Walking around one of those museums, I don't know if you've ever had the special opportunity to follow young parents as they go through a museum with a curious child, but I watched two very lovely dads walk their 5-year-old through the Civil Rights Museum, and he had so many questions. What's that? Pointing at a billy club. Why did they do that? Police sicking dogs on protesters who were unarmed. What happened to him? That haunting photo of a back covered in scars. And these dads were so patient and so honest, and they squatted down on the floor to deeply engage with these questions. And it reminded me that if we commit to learning this history and teaching it to our children and reminding them that now we hold true that all people are equal and all people deserve the same rights and protections under the law, perhaps we can escape the fate of repeating those horrible historic mistakes again. Watching this family reminds me that love is taught, just as hate is taught, and teaching our collective history matters. Later in Sabbatical, Will and I took a trip down to Montgomery to visit the Legacy Museum. This is the best museum. End of sentence. This is the best museum. The Legacy Museum tracks the history of racism and oppression from slavery to mass incarceration. And there's a memorial of peace and justice, which memorializes the history of lynching in our country. I've already been putting out feelers at the possibility that we might take a big group trip down there. So keep your eyes and ears peeled for that one. It matters to learn those stories so that we might not repeat them, and so that we can take the stories and the patterns of resilience and incorporate them into our own work for resilience. We also traveled over to Selma and paid our respects. There's a small plaque there that honors Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend James Reeb, who was killed as part of the protests and the walk from Selma to Montgomery. Another aspect of my sabbatical was reconnecting to, as I've shared, thinking about the value of Unitarian Universalism here in the South. And so I got to attend the Soul Summit conference at our congregation in Atlanta. And I connected with other UUs and talked about creative music and worship, and we talked about how to really incorporate children and families into every aspect of our congregational life. And I even took a class on how to run a super fun church meeting, so look for that. And taking this sabbatical was not just about travel, it was also about engaging big questions in my own heart and in our world. I thought a lot about what is rest. Hint, rest is not sitting on the couch anxiously worried that you're not resting right. It's not that, so you can let that one go. The poem I shared offers that rest is permission to go out in the fields to be lovely and not come back until you're done blooming. Rest isn't a one-day task or a box to check. It's that regular practice of making space and giving permission to fill yourself back up. And it's a luxury that we're not always offered. When you're able to grasp it, dig in fully, there's no guilt to be had. Rest is necessary. It's necessary to help us live joyful and thriving lives. I spent some time asking and wondering, how do we meet this current moment? Has anyone figured that one out yet? Yeah, no, I'm still working on it, but I think there's some things we can find. It's no secret that our country and our world are hurting right now. People are scared, violence is spreading, and the perceived chasm between us and them keeps growing wider. So how do we heal this world? I'll share more in an upcoming sermon, but there are lessons and stories and blueprints from the civil rights movement and from other struggles for justice and inclusion that can help point us in the right direction. We will have to take risks and be willing to shake things up, and we'll have to be willing to try things that we have no proof whether or not they will work until they're done. But if we have faith, the work can continue, and we will be able to build coalition and community across difference and tap into wells of resilience. At the Soul Summit conference, I got to attend my colleague, Reverend Jake Morrill, who served much of his career at our congregation in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. He has a simple slogan for how we move through this time. He says, "Our task is to move from pain to joy by way of joy." That is to say, we are in a place of pain and suffering and uncertainty, and we want the joy and peace of a world where our rights and our democracy and our neighbors are able to live and thrive. And the way we get there, the way of resistance, is through joy. It's not through burying our heads in the sand. It's not through panic doom scrolling. It's not through self-isolation. It is through joy that comes through community. And finally, I got to wonder about what it means for me to be a member of a community here in Huntsville. This is the first place I've really moved to and settled in. And I pull from our faith tradition that teaches us that at its core, we are each members of beloved community who strive to love and learn and grow spiritually together. And yet, as a minister, a community leader, I don't always have time or space or interest or ability to be a community member myself. And so mixed up in the books and hikes and travel, I really dug deep into the idea that I am a member of this community and I need to be in connection and sustainable relationship with the people I call friends and family in this place. I spent a Tuesday morning at Midtown Elementary School being a mystery reader in my niece's classroom. I got to celebrate the milestones in friends' lives, baby showers and housewarming parties and community theater. I got to show up with chicken nuggets and childcare for a friend in crisis. And I got to prioritize the people, my people, and remember what a gift and what a challenge it is to be community for other people. As I harp on community in this space, as I remind us that we are a community, it felt good and it felt important to stretch my own community member muscles and be active in my own circle. And so as I return to our work, as we return to this work together, I come back a little more rested and renewed and equipped with stories and experiences and colors and words that I hope will help us all grow. My hopes for us are that we remember that rest is our right, and we each deserve to take time to slow down and breathe deeply and disconnect. Let us share the work and the rest so that we can move forward with resilience. I encourage us to learn from the history of social movements that have come before us, that have called out unfair practices and unfair governments and have asked us to stay in the work for the long haul. The journey is long, and we will lose and win and lose and win again. And yet, if we stay focused on liberation, when all is said and done, I believe liberation will prevail. And may we remember the wise adage that we are moving from pain to joy by way of joy. Let us hold joy close, knowing it is both the destination and the journey. And may this shared faith, Unitarian Universalism, remind us that we are called to be beloved community in this world. Let us show up for our people and celebrate each other's milestones and mend each other's wounds and love each other's children. Let us be generous community members who receive the love of community with gratitude and without hesitation and offer it back with gratitude without hesitation. And may you and I and all of us go forth to love each other a little better than we did yesterday and to help heal this world. Blessed be and amen. And as we return to each other, I offer you a song of renewed relationship. It's hymn number 346, Come Sing a Song with Me. Let's rise in body or spirit.
Let us now take a moment to extinguish our chalice with these words. As our service comes to an end, go quietly amid the noise and the haste. Remember what peace there is in silence, and be gentle with yourself.
Well, friends, our worship service now comes to a close. I will be at the back of the sanctuary for a few minutes for hugs and greetings, and then I will go over to the potluck, which everyone should join us for. Like they've said, even if you forgot to bring something, please come and eat and celebrate with us. All are welcome. And make a note that next Sunday is flower communion, and please remember to bring a flower to share. For now, let's leave this time of worship with these words. Beloveds, rest. Rest when you can, for rest is yours. Go out into the fields and be lovely. Collect sunbeams and daydreams and colors and stories. And remember that all of us need all of us to make it through. None of us can go it alone. Let us learn from the past and cherish the joy that'll take us on this journey. Blessed be, amen, and let's go out singing our rite of community, Be Thou With Us. And blessed be, and go in peace. Oh.